you should take the power out of who you're trying to date to feel validated and try to put it within yourself. It's not about how they feel and how they're reacting. It's about how I feel about myself. Actually believe that you're the fucking shit, because no one else is going to see that in you unless you like truly see it in yourself.
Hey everyone, we are back for another week of Date Better with Heather. I am the CEO and founder of Hula, the dating app where you date better guys endorsed by other women. And I'm so excited for our guests this week. We are going to be covering self-confidence, and we all know we need self-confidence to date better. I have probably the best guest ever to cover this topic. Everyone meet Christie. Yay. She was the first bald Sports Illustrated model. She's a professional dancer. She's the founder of the Baltourage, and she has one of the most special stories I've heard, and I'm just so excited to talk to you today.
I'm so excited to talk to you too. Yeah.
Okay, Christie, before we get into your story, I like to hear about what you're obsessed with right now. It's called What's Your Jam? That's our little shtick on the show. So what is your jam this week?
So I just moved over to West Hollywood, and my jam is waking up and going on a hike on Runyon.
Oh my God.
I used to not.
Do you do the hard side or the easy or the
girl? Who's asking? I do the easy side for
sure.
Oh,
come on, Christie.
It's early in the morning. I'm doing the easy side mostly. True. Yeah.
The conversations for everyone listening. There's this hike in LA called Runyon, and you will hear the craziest things you ever heard in your life on this hike. Like, you know, there's an account called Overheard LA, and that's where all the quotes come from, I swear. Like, yes. I've heard crazy stuff.
So have I. It's really interesting.
Okay, Christie, can you tell us about your story. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so I grew up in Philly, Pennsylvania, and I went to Penn State as a dance major, and I was in a ballet company growing up. I went to a Catholic school. Very regimented lifestyle back in the day. And then I lost my hair randomly out of nowhere to alopecia right after college. Started falling out. And then I glued on a blonde wig and moved out to LA like 6.5 years ago, and was like, okay, I'm going to restart my life out here. I'm going to like find myself again. And I came out here to pursue dance and modeling. And for like a year, I wore this wig on my head and didn't tell anybody. And then I was like, all right, well, it's time to like actually live my truth and not like be this bubbly, happy, fun blonde girl, and then behind closed doors be crying myself to sleep and no one knows. So I was just like it was just like two completely polarizing people that I was like, lives that I was living. So I shared my story, and then I was in Sports Illustrated.
Wow, that's amazing. So you really went from, you were kind of like almost like had a mask on in a way. And then what was it that sort of made you like realize like, you know what, like this isn't me? And like what made you break free of that?
I was just so over people and exterior comments, like dictating how I felt about myself. Someone would be like, oh, what's your natural color hair? Or are you wearing a wig? Or, oh, are those extensions? And I'd be like, going to the bathroom and crying my eyes out. And I'm like, I can't like let other people's comments constantly dictate my happiness. So I just wanted to take the power back. I was over it. I was like, I'm ready to like live my truth. And like, I feel like it was going to heal me internally if I could just get it out there. Yeah.
That's so cool, because I feel like a lot of people, like there's something that they're like hiding or embarrassed of, but then there's so much power once you just, no, this is me, and you just become magnetic when you do that. And it's so free. It's scary. It's probably really scary at first.
Oh, it's so scary. When I can still remember hitting like post on my Instagram about when I was like sharing it. I can remember that feeling, and I like threw my phone, and I was so scared, but it was like the beginning of the rest of my life. It was the best. I encourage anyone to share something vulnerable or something that they've been through, because I promise you it's very therapeutic and healing, and someone else is going through it.
There's that quote, vulnerability is the birth of love.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think even that's something that I'm working on lately, is like sometimes like I feel like I'm really open, but then there is like a lot of things that I just like hold inside. But it's so true that once you just like, here's me, been through this and I've been through this and it sucked, or but like that's literally where you meet people, and that's where love begins.
Yeah, and you have this like understanding without saying anything. Yeah. With other bald women, I'm like, we get each other without even knowing anything about each other. We're both bald, like we understand this experience that we have in a deeper level than other people. So it really, really brings you closer to people and like closer to yourself. And it's taught me so much empathy, and it's the best thing.
But yet me and so many people listening we're all just trying to hide it.
Yeah.
But it's like, Christie, I'm so happy she's on this episode because she's like a true living person that's just been like, here's me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Take it. And there's so much light when you walk into the room because you are that. So I think we can all learn from something, and I'm excited to chat about how that translates to dating.
Totally. It's
so
definitely been an experience.
I bet. So what is your relationship status right now?
I'm currently in a relationship.
Love.
It's been a long time coming. I was single for a long ass time.
Okay, so tell me about that time. So what was it like dating, I mean, when you had hair versus now? Like how, can you kind of walk me through what that journey was like?
Yeah, well, in college, I was in a sorority. I had this long, beautiful blonde hair, very similar to yours.
Yeah.
Like I was very much like this blonde sorority girl. And it was easy to date. Like, I was in a sorority. I went out all the time. I was social. I met all the guys. I dated a football player, like this like superstar football player at Penn State who fucked my life up. But
whoa,
no, literally. But it was easy to date. Like, I didn't have any holdback at all because I was like confident and felt good about myself. I was in a social scene. I was like young and fun and like living a life and didn't really have any problems, for a lack of better words. So it was easy back in the day when I had hair. Then shit hit the fan. It got a little different. But at the time with hair, it was fine. Mm-hmm. And then when I started to wear a wig, that was a little chunk of my dating life that I would go out with guys and my social media was only wearing a wig. And if I was getting intimate, I'm like, oh, absolutely, hands cannot come to my head. Like, you can.
Wow.
Because then you would know. And then if I slept over or whatever, I was just so like, they're going to know it's a wig. They're going to know it's a wig, giving them all this power and like putting all this pressure on myself. So, and then my eyebrows were falling out. And so I would be like, if I was sleeping over somewhere, I'd bring an eyebrow pencil with me and like wake up and go in the bathroom and draw them on while the wig is like completely destroyed. And I'm like, la, 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 in the morning. So wearing a wig I feel like there was just such a wall up with dating when you're wearing a wig like that and you're not comfortable
I
yourself.
even feel like I have extensions now, but I used to wear like the clip-in ones.
Me too.
But I would even be nervous. Like, I'm like, don't like kiss me.
Like,
don't
you're
touch.
Don't touch.
Secret. But then I was just like, whatever. I'm just gonna be like, I'm clip-in. Like,
right. Everybody wears fake hair now.
Right.
You know.
But even I would say, like, even on dates, like if you're wearing something uncomfortable, like even that littlest thing, like there's so much power in being comfortable because that's gonna let you just let your like personality shine. Yeah. But then we get in our head about all this. Like, wait, am I skinny enough? Does this make me look fat? Does this?
Yeah.
And then what if they see? What if I take this off?
Noticing their eyes like go up to my hairline, and I'm like have to look away, and I'm like, oh, they know, they're looking, like a million things as women that go through our head, and then the added bonus of like, I don't want to be wearing this wig. I don't want to be bald. Like some people choose to wear wigs. I was just like had so much shame, not in a good place with the whole hair situation. So it was really hard to face people with this wig on. Yeah.
And so then you got to the point where you're just like, I'm gonna own it.
Yeah.
And
I had like I had like patches growing in. So I wasn't like bald. I had like these big brown like patches. Okay. And I was like, fuck it, I'm going out with these big brown patches. Because I was like, if I can get myself to like share it, I feel like my hair is going to grow back and I'm going to heal myself. I wasn't going on dates with that. I was wearing a wig mostly. Okay. But it was more like if we got on social media, it was more they would see that I was bald on there. But it wasn't like top of conversation. I wasn't saying it.
So when you're in that phase of like wearing the wig, was there ever a moment where like someone figured out that you were bald or like was there ever like a moment where like it?
Yeah, I think that I remember one time I was out, I think on like getting dinner, and I told them.
Okay. And
oh my God, my heart's just like pounding, and I'm just like, it's so different to tell someone that you're bald. But then for them to actually reveal take off your wig in front of someone is a whole different experience.
Right.
So that is like the most vulnerable thing to do. But I remember saying it casually, and it was really kind of an unfazed. But I wasn't so internally like,
You were like,
shit,
boom, boom, boom,
yeah,
boom, boom.
freaking out, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Because, and then I also have taken a wig off in front of a guy, and it's like so vulnerable, and I'm just like, okay, I'm showing you something very vulnerable. Like, let's see something that you have going on. Like,
take it off, buddy.
Like, why do I have to be the one that's like revealing this part of me? But just
and then what was that feeling once you did?
Like scary, and it was like time and time again that I had, like, as I was becoming more okay with it, I was going out more bald or going out more on dates without a wig on, and I got to the point that I was like, I have to be okay with it inside, because regardless of what everybody else, all these men are going to react, and thankfully most of mine have been positive, I just have to be okay, because I need to work on it internally, because I'm not going to be okay by what these men are saying to me.
Letting them value it.
Yeah, exactly. I have to be okay, and then they're gonna receive it like that.
Yeah. And I think that's the lesson here is like, hey, like once we accept ourselves, all the mess, all the things we've been through, all of a sudden you just become hot. Right, Sam?
It's so true.
100%.
Like,
accurate.
I think that's the way the guy's brain works, is just like, if you're yourself and you are just like unapologetically like, this is me. And I mean, some people might not like it. That's okay.
But then they're not for you.
But they're not for you. That's right. But there's so much power. And I think like Christie's a perfect example of this. Just like, here's me. And at first it was really scary. But then the more that you just own that, right? And the more that you dated and you went on dates bald and like, no, this is it.
Yep.
The more you probably are like, wait.
It actually doesn't matter. It's all internal. And it's how, like, my relationship with it.
Yeah.
And you also are kind of constructing, until you actually know how they think or how they're reacting, you're kind of constructing a narrative in their head about what they think.
It's so true.
That's so true.
Yeah.
And then once you accept it in your head, it's like,
because that's how people are going to perceive you. If you walk in like, I'm fucking cool with this, like, what's it to you? They're going to receive it like that. But if you're like showing that you're insecure and all going through all this stuff more, and you're presenting that, the other person's going to be like, oh, this is like a little of a weird thing. Yeah. But if you're like, this is fucking me, take it or leave it, you know?
And that's why like, you know, listening to this show and really like working on yourself and dating better within too is going to help you date better outside.
And we're all about dating better.
We are all about dating better on Date Better with Heather. So there is that phrase like, own it, blah, blah. Is there stuff that you specifically did? Obviously you kind of battle it in your head of like, okay, I'm gonna accept this about me. But was there any like techniques or like books you read or like things that you did to sort of get to that place?
Yeah, I had on my mirror, I am beautiful. Like
love affirmations.
Yes, and I would say that. I would like force myself. I still do, because I don't feel beautiful every day like anyone.
Everyone should do that, right? I am beautiful. What else do you do? What else do you say?
Well, I teach a confidence club to little girls with alopecia, and we say, I am beautiful, I am bold, I am strong, I am confident, I am fearless, I am brave. So I like have gotten in the habit of doing that too. But like, I'll literally meet my own eyes in the mirror and be like, you're fucking amazing. Like, you got this. Like, I really will say that out loud if I'm having a moment of self-doubt or whatever. So I think affirmations are huge. I think spending time with yourself and like actually talking through what
irrational thoughts.
Yeah, and talking through like, because you know those come up. But talking through like situations and how they made you feel, and like if you went on a date, maybe the next day like go to the park and journal about how it made you feel, or just like lay there and think about it.
Be more mindful.
Yeah. And I think that that's helped me be like, I don't like how that went down, I like how that went down. Like being able to decipher what works for me and how I want to like live my life, and how I want to date, and who I want to have in my life and stuff.
Isn't it crazy that it's just being intentional and mindful, but because we have phones, any like lull moment, we fill it with phones.
Yeah.
And then it takes us away from our thoughts, which like there's actually so much power when you actually deconstruct, why do I think this? Why do I feel this? But a lot of us don't take that time.
No. And it gives you self-awareness if you're like taking time to reflect in what's going on and what you like and what you don't like. Yeah, I think that could definitely help people date better.
Okay, love. All right, well, we are going to play a little game right now because we love games. So, did you know that 86% of women who make the first move end up marrying that guy?
Really?
What?
Isn't that pretty wild?
Tea.
I mean, not like a lot of relationships start, you know, the girl sees the guy out. And she's like, I want it. I got it.
That confidence.
That confidence.
Female confidence.
That's right. That self-confidence.
Yeah.
So we are going to help us because you are a very, I would say you're a queen of you got confidence. So I mean, we are going to need your help giving some girly Riz lessons.
All right. Give it to me.
You know what Riz is, Sam?
I was trying to reach back into the depths of my brain,
no.
but I don't think I have that one.
Christy, do you know what Riz is?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you know what it's short for? Charisma.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was like, I did actually know that at one point, but I actually forgot in that moment. That's right. Riz is short for charisma. So it means like kind of like your game. Like,
Oh, so when you like riz up?
I don't know. That's the way to say it.
I haven't heard it that way, but yeah, maybe.
Like
Really?
he's got Riz. Like
Yeah.
like if a guy comes up and like says something like and I like it, I'm like he's got some
smooth
Riz.
and yeah.
He's got some Riz. Okay. So we're gonna need some of your Riz lessons, Christy.
Okay.
Let's say you see a cute guy on social media. What would be your way of making this
Sliding
move?
in. Okay, first I would follow for a second.
Okay. For a second.
Like I would give it a time. I would follow.
Oh, okay. I thought you would be like follow, unfollow.
Well, no.
It's like be specific. The ladies need to know.
Okay, I would if I saw someone hot on
Yes.
Instagram, I would follow them, give it some time, and then I would probably like a story.
Okay.
Maybe
a little heart on the story.
Yeah, a little like. Once that for a little bit, then I would maybe like respond with like a hard eyes or a fire, maybe.
Okay.
Is this me sliding in?
Yeah. This is just how you would recommend other people to slide in.
Okay. Instead of waiting for them to slide in.
This is the girl. This is if we're going after the stat. If we were to make the first move, what would
be a slow burn for me. I would be like, I'm gonna follow for a little bit, and I'm gonna start liking for a little bit. I'm gonna send like an emoji for a little bit, and then I might respond to a story to slide in. I wouldn't cold be like, hi.
That's the question.
I wouldn't.
I agree. I would totally do the story reply. That's the classic. Don't do the cold hi. I hope this isn't weird, but don't do the hope
you
this
just
isn't
made
weird.
it weird.
Never. Self-confidence, y'all.
Yeah.
Of course it's not weird. You're hot.
Right.
They're hot. Duh. Of course
Right.
you should talk.
100%.
Right, Sam?
Slow play it.
It's slow play.
I'm into
slow
slow
burn.
play. Yeah, I agree.
Same.
How about you're out at a bar? We're gonna do a little role play on this one.
Okay.
Okay, I'm the guy. I'm at the bar.
Got it.
What are you gonna do? How are you gonna talk to me?
Okay, so he's over there keeping his cool.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably either go up and like do a walk by. I'd definitely do a walk by first.
Drive by.
Yeah, a little drive by.
Yep, he's good.
Scope it out. Make sure there's no girlies around that he's with, because I'm
True, that is.
he cannot be on a date. I'm absolutely not doing that. And like I'm gonna make sure he's fully with his boys or he's by himself or. Well, hopefully with someone.
Which, by the way, any guys listening, when girls go on dates, if you go to the bathroom, by the way, there is like a lot of my friends, including me, you will get hit on if you're alone. Like it does happen.
Yeah.
Just so you know. Next.
Totally.
Keep
My friend
going.
was on a date, and I mean, she was hit on by a guy that was on a date. The girl went to the bathroom.
Oh yeah. It definitely happens.
So I would give it a second, because I'm not about to do that. If he's with a girl, I'm not getting involved. So personally, I would do a walk by, little glance, a little bit, and then I'd probably go over and like, what are you drinking? Or like,
okay, then what are you drinking? Wine? All right.
Maybe that I would do, or I wouldn't do too much. I would feel it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably the classic is like, hi, I'm Heather. What's your name?
Yeah.
Just go for the classic. But if there's like something funny happening, or like, like I'd make a joke about like whatever, like what is that guy doing over there? Or like,
something
like something
that.
A little like that. That's what I would do. What do you think, Sam? Would
like
these work
that.
on you?
I like that, like bonding over a mutual like ridiculous thing that's happening around,
Yeah.
I've also been like, oh my God, wait, I met you before.
No.
Oh, I've done that.
No.
And they're like, wait, what? And I'm like, oh, maybe it wasn't you, but you look familiar or something. And then we'd start
See,
talking.
I actually didn't know that was a pickup line for a very long time. I just found that one out. And so I'm like, what? Like, do I just have a face that everyone thinks they've met or something? I'm like...
I get that a lot too, but I'm like with my kids, so I don't think they're hitting on me.
They're like,
hey, you never know. You never know.
Yeah,
it's wild out here.
I was gonna say.
They didn't say that 86% was all.
Yes.
Right.
No kids.
Okay. So what about at the gym? Do you ever believe there is a world in which you would make a move on someone at the gym?
I don't think I would make a move with someone at the gym. I think I would want someone to make a move on me at the gym.
Oh, you would? Whoa, you're rare. A lot of girls say, don't talk to me at the gym.
Well, I mean, what guys are we talking about? If you're like extremely hot and cool and have all the stuff, yes. But if you're like,
but how are they supposed to know? They're listening and they're like, oh, girls do want to be talked to at the gym.
Okay,
we're giving general advice.
Okay. Take a little self-reflection and like see your category, and then make a decision from there. But like, I would want like, it would be a casual thing, and then also if you're listening and if you're gonna make that bold move at the gym, like pick up on the girl's body language, or pick up if I would like show that I'm actually interested, then ask for my number or whatever. But if I'm not, then don't. Or if you're texting someone, this is off topic, but if you're texting someone and I'm not answering for days, stop texting me. Stop asking me out. I don't want to go.
Read the room, honeys.
These men do not know how to read the room sometimes.
Hey, they got to fight for what they want. I was at the gym the other day, and I just joined a new gym.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say where, but it's so cool. It's in LA. Like, it's like a chain that randomly is popping up everywhere. And take what you want from that. And oh my God, there is the hottest men there. I don't even know I'm just like, I've been at Crunch Fitness this whole time with it's all gay guys. So
all the gays.
I'm like, oh my God, what's happening here? So I had seen this one guy and I was like, he is really cute. And I eyed him maybe twice. Like I don't know, caught eyes.
Yeah.
Then I'm at my squat rack facing the wall. Okay. Well, I didn't put the clips on the edges of the weights. And so my one weight is falling off as I'm squatting. And this man, my hero, runs up and he puts the weight on the thing. He's like, I got you. And I'm like, my AirPods in, and I was like in shock. I was like, it's the crush that saw me. I'm like, he must have been watching me squat.
That's a perfect situation.
That's a rom-com.
Yeah. By the way, wait, it gets better. I'm walking later on the day. He's eating breakfast or not, like brunch at the cafe at the end of my street. I'm like,
that's a sign.
I'm like, my hero. And he's like, there you are. I'm like, oh my God. So we have yet to continue the saga.
Burn.
We'll have to come back to Date Better with more of this gym crush saga. But in the meantime, gym crushes are great motivations.
Agreed.
Like everyone needs one. Even if you're in a relationship, just pick someone at the gym to like be like, he's cute, nothing will happen. But
exactly.
Like it's just some weird motivation. I don't know. It's like,
and then you see them consistently when you go. Yeah.
Girl math.
I feel like the gym is also a great place to like bond over someone doing a ridiculous. You know those like people who go viral on like TikTok for like Planet Fitness
Sam,
for doing
I feel like this
weird...
is me, so don't talk about this right now.
No, some guys like hanging upside down.
This is why
doing,
girls
like,
get
weird
insane.
exercise.
This is why I'm scared of the weight room at the gym, because I'm like, what if I'm not doing it right? What if I am the girl they're filming right now? So
that's not
right.
Yeah. Come on. You have great squat form.
I know. Thank God I've been to a few personal training sessions and I just keep remembering the moves they taught me. Like, because I had someone there correcting it. It's like, okay, we're just going to keep running those back because I know those are right. Don't make me try anything new. Okay. That was a great girly roast session. I feel like now everyone listening and watching is like, yeah, I'm going to go make. Actually, that's your challenge this week.
Yeah.
I think every girl should make 2 first moves this week.
Why not? There's nothing to lose.
At least, okay, one. We'll settle.
And I think that you can't, if there is like a sense of rejection, you can't take it personally.
No, like and this is where we're growing our self-confidence.
Right.
Because if someone does reject you, it doesn't matter because you're still awesome.
Yeah.
And
has nothing to do with you.
That's
snaps
to that.
Period.
Christy, you said that you were cheated on. That is very difficult.
Yeah.
And I don't know the actual stat on the amount of people who have been cheated on, but I'd imagine it's pretty high.
I'd imagine that too.
And I have not experienced this, but I don't think I have. You never know, I guess. But to my knowledge, I haven't. But if I think about experiencing that, I'm like, my heart, like, I want to throw up. So tell me about this time in your life and how, we'll go into more questions about that. But tell me about what kind of happened.
Yeah, I was in college when I still had my long blonde hair. And I was in a sorority and I was dating a football player. Mm-hmm. And if you know anything about Penn State football, they're literally the kings of the world, these men. These boys, they're boys in college.
Okay.
So the whole world, if you're a Penn State football fan, they just like praise these boys. So he's like on this absolute
He's on his
pedestal.
high horse.
The biggest high horse he could ever be on, yeah. And I was in a sorority and I was a dancer. And so we started dating, had this whole thing. I was so tight with his family. We had so much fun together when we first started dating. And he was a year below me also.
Okay.
Cougar status.
It's okay.
So, and it was so great. His family was so great. I got so tight with them. I would like go to his games and draw his number on my face and just be super
You were
extra.
a dedicated girlfriend.
Yeah, fully. And then it kind of shifted, and I could like feel him kind of pulling away, and that's a sign. And I could feel him pulling away, and I remember, but I'm also like 21, I'm in college, I have no like depth of love experience. This is like my first like serious relationship, and so I kind of didn't really know, and he was kind of pulling away, and we were like kind of like on a break, and he like, but not really, like fully still talking and all the things, but it felt a little like rocky. And then I took a train or a bus to New York to go audition for something for dance, and I stayed with my friend who was his roommate's girlfriend.
Ooh.
Honey, I got the tea that weekend. And she was like, oh my God, it's the worst feeling in the whole entire world. I've never experienced this type of pain.
And this was like your first love.
Yeah, I mean, I was in like a relationship before, but not like this.
Okay.
And it was very public, and like public in the sense of at school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And everyone's like, oh, the power couple, all the things.
Okay.
All of his friends all had girlfriends. It was like this whole like camaraderie of like the football players and their girlfriends. And she was like, oh, so-and-so was, she had graduated, but her friend was in her locker room. They played lacrosse together, and was like, so-and-so was just talking about how he was sleeping with your boyfriend. She was talking about it in the locker room.
Whoa.
Wow.
I was like, huh? Wait, what? Who? Like, was so caught off guard. So then I drove back like 3 hours. So I guess I did drive. I don't know. But I was in New York, and I drove back, and I was fuming. Also called him on the phone, and he's like denying it and all the stuff. Drove back to the school, got all his shit from my place, and drove over there and threw it at him and is screaming at him and like the whole thing. And he's like, I think he was denying it at the time. Mm-hmm. So whatever, that was a whole thing, but it's not over. So I'm like young and blinded by love, and not in like, just didn't know myself at this point at all. And so he like tries to get me back. He apologizes. He's like, it was a one-time thing. We were on a little break, you and me, like all this manipulation bullshit.
Were you on a break?
It was like this, but like fully weren't. Okay. Like it was not a break.
Okay.
No, it was like a bumpy. It was not a break.
Okay.
And so then we have this whole conversation, whatever. And we're like, all right, we're going to try to make it happen or make it work, whatever. So like the whole year, that was in December, for the whole year, it was like trying to make it work. And so I moved to New York. I graduated, moved to New York, and he like bullshitted me that like, well, we were going to be together once I graduated, like all this stuff of like trying to figure it out. But I don't think he was like fully really in it the way that I was, because like I'm like a ride or die. Like if I'm gonna commit to you,
when I love hard.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't love
easy.
To
say, yeah, I like love so deeply and like full encompassing. And so I moved to New York, and I remember, so a whole year has gone by, and I like had gone back to visit him, whatever, all this bullshit. Oh yeah, so he had a brain aneurysm, and like in the game, and he was like airlifted to this hospital, and I'm living in New York. And I was like, oh, what the fuck? Like, I'm going to go be there with him. So I, like, take a train and go be there with him. And he's, like, in and out of the hospital, all these tests, like, very, very serious situations going on. He, like, faints. We bring him to the hospital. I'm, like, staying at his parents' house the whole bit. And then having sex, like, the whole thing. I go back to New York, and he goes to, it was, like, a big championship game that he couldn't play in, but that happened to him. But he went to watch it. And that was the last time I ever seen him, that weekend. I left and didn't know anything. I left. And then I find out from the same girl that he like got a hotel with the same girl that he was cheating on me with. So for the whole year, like they've had this whole like relationship that I didn't know about. And she was like there when he got airlifted to the hospital.
Oh my gosh.
The whole thing. And then I was just like completely just broken 10 times over after this has happened for a whole year. And like I said, like I have not experienced hardship in my life until this point. So it like hit even harder. Right. And we broke up over the phone. I was over FaceTime. I remember finding out, my mom like came to visit me in New York, and I like found out, and I just like couldn't eat. We were like out to dinner, and I was like, we have to go home, and just bawled my eyes out, and we broke up over FaceTime, and I've never seen him again.
Wow.
And then I lost all my hair. From the trauma of all that. Yeah. My hair started falling out.
And I'd imagine, like, I think well, first of all, like tying into self-confidence, like that's I bet even if you were self-confident, cheating is something that can really tear you down and get you in your head and make you be like, is it me that I like, how did you not let yourself go to a dark place, or did you, and what did you do to pull yourself out of that?
I was definitely in a dark place, but I have this thing that since I've lost my hair, it's hard for me to really relate to that person. I legitimately feel like I'm a whole different woman now.
Yeah.
So looking back, I'm just like, I just don't, like, that's just so crazy that that's me, because I would not put up with this stuff now. But I was in a horribly dark place, and I had patches all over my head, and my hair's falling out, and I just moved to New York to pursue dance. And like, there was so much change going on in my life. I was not eating. It was so bad. But I think I just kind of, I don't know what I got me out of it. I think like, I knew it was like so far gone that there was no saving it, that like I was disgusted, I was broken, I was angry.
So you channel that all, like, this is his like, this is, you never took it on yourself. Like, you never carried the weight of like, oh, like, is it me? Did you ever think in that way? Like,
I think I carried it to an extent. I mean, my hair literally started falling out because this was going on.
Right.
And so my body like knew, and it like internalized it and reacted that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I also got like insane validation from his mom and his dad, and they were like, our son's fucked up, and I can't believe that he's done that. So that helped.
Gotcha, yeah.
I like would talk to the mom all about it. Like, I was very involved with them, and so that helped me a lot. And my friends, and I was like not at Penn State, so I was passing him. I was like in my own.
I think one thing that helps me deal with, when people screw you over is like, wow, like, I'm so grateful for my character that I would never do that to someone. And like, I'm mostly just sad for them. Yeah. Like, how sucky would it be to like sleep at night and know like you're just like screwing people over? Yeah. I don't know. I just like, life is so much more like, I care about my character so much more, and like treating people right, and knowing that, and being able to go to bed knowing that.
That's a good point.
I like channel. That's like my thought process to get through. Like, when people screw me over, I'm just like, wow, like, I'm more sad for you.
Yeah, like I could go to sleep knowing that I've never hurt anyone like that.
That's
and he forever can't, because he's married to that girl with 2 kids.
Wow.
T. Yeah. The amount of times I thought of signing the Sports Illustrated issue and sending it to his house.
Oh my God. I'm sure he saw
Should we
you
do
on
that
there.
for her?
He definitely saw it. His dad called me. His dad literally called me when they saw the magazine. I'm like, get out of my life. And they're like blocks, and like I'm not involved with them at all.
Yeah, you gotta like
move on.
Yeah.
I also think that helps. Out of sight, out of mind.
Totally.
I don't see his stuff.
And even like muting, like now you can mute, which is great. Mm-hmm. I'm into the mute button. That's a great button.
Yep.
You can mute all their friends, any affiliation, even though you're not like mad at them. Like, it's just like best to get it out. Any energy where like you feel like, I'm like, when I see it, I get a little madder. That all banks over time, builds up. So like, it's better to just cleanse of all that.
And that's why I suggest to people like moving cities. Like, I was like, I have to pick up and start my life. I don't want to know anyone.
Right.
Like, I don't want anyone to be like, oh, you're so-and-so's ex, whatever. Like, I wanted to
start fresh.
I moved across the country with a blonde wig because I was like, I don't want anyone to know me or know my relationship or my status or any of that.
And, with cheating and with these things, how, I mean, even like losing your hair, I guess now you're in a relationship, but when you were dating, you started to date bald, so that was your way of like sharing that piece.
Yeah.
With cheating and stuff, obviously that does affect us in the way we date people. Like, we might have like little insecurities pop up or things. Do you think it's important to communicate that sooner? Like how soon do you think it's important to communicate that with your partner or like your potential partner?
Communicate
that, you've been cheated on or things like that, or this makes you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, I love that question, because I feel like I'm in this new great relationship now, and I have been vocal with my boyfriend about it, because like he just knows like the kind of stuff that I need, and I'm like, it's not because of you, it's just because of like my trauma that I'm working through. And for the past, like, I've been single for 7 years. The past 7 years, it's just like I just push it under the carpet. But now that I'm in like this new healthy relationship, it comes up because I'm like, I freak out because I'm like, I haven't been like this close with someone and like this in love with someone since then. Right. So I'm like, wait, you're actually a good guy. Like, you're not my ex, but it comes up because it's trauma, and I haven't like fully processed it. So I personally told my boyfriend off the bat, like I told him.
Like date one?
No, not date one. Like, listen up. This is the tea. This is the story.
Like how?
No.
I think you communicate as you go. Is that accurate or okay?
And in more like new experiences and new situations, I feel like it'll come up. And my boyfriend now is very communicative, and like he plays no games. I'm not confused about what is going on. And
That's the way to go.
Right? And I told him from the jump, I was like, I love that there's no games. I'm not confused. I'm not like in the dark about like, you're very communicative. And I'm like, I need that because, so it came up like probably like a couple months in, 2 months in maybe. I don't know, but it came up naturally. I wasn't like, I have to tell him that this happened to me, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's where people will go wrong because they'll be like, wait, I need to tell them everything, my trauma.
No.
And they're like unloading all their like,
yeah,
like,
no.
oh God. Okay, we are going to kind of blast through this next game because it's a fun one, but we're getting close on some time here. So I would love to hear the most petty reason that you broke up with someone. This game is called On the Spot Stories. So I'm just going to kind of catch you off guard and ask you to tell a few stories.
Okay.
Or like, let me just hear these. What is the most petty reason you broke up with someone?
Probably because they're short. They were short.
Okay.
I can't do short. Sorry.
Wait, what is short?
Yeah. That's Sam. Thank you for that one.
Because someone told me that I was short recently.
How tall are you?
5'11".
Okay, that's not short. You passed the test.
Average is 5'8".
This is huge.
No, I could never.
No. I know. I'm telling you, the average is 5'8" of a guy's height.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Just so you know.
I love to wear giant heels.
And you're taller, kind of, right?
Yeah, I'm like 5'8.5", like almost 5'9". So they can't be 5'8".
No, I know. I'm guilty of the same petty reason. So,
like, if I wear heels and I'm towering over you, it's hard for me.
I know. I know.
Yeah. So being short is bad for me.
That's okay. My petty reason is someone had small hands. So
interesting.
That's pretty petty. But it's just they were a little too small and a little too soft looking. And I was like,
this is getting
your
weird.
hands are prettier than mine. And
goodbye.
Can't. What is the lamest way a guy has tried to pick up on you?
I feel like currently a bald comment, like they'll also be bald, and I'm like, bro,
no.
Or like even on
stop it right
even
now.
on dating apps, the bald comments, like I can't with that. That's probably the most annoying.
Oh my gosh, I can't. Okay, what's the weirdest text or phone call from a guy you've ever received?
Oh my God, one time I think I was texting this guy. I don't know if I had met him yet, but I think he saw my Instagram, something that he didn't know I was bald. So it goes back to that. And I forget the exact context, but I sent him a picture of myself bald. And like he responded something like, I forget the exact thing that it was, but it was something like, oh, are you cosplaying or something, like thinking that I was like catfishing or cosplaying him or something. And I was like, okay, yeah, we're not a match. I'm probably not going to respond again.
Did you put photos of you bald in your dating apps or like a mix?
No, for a while I only had with hair.
Okay.
Then I did mixed, and people were like very confused thinking this was multiple people. Because I would do like brown, blonde, red, bald, head wrap, and they're like, wait, is this like a three-way situation? So yeah, no. And then I changed it to all bald. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So then this guy had only seen like the photos of you with the wig.
With hair, yeah.
Okay.
And he was like thought I was catfishing him.
I mean, I could kind of understand that if you didn't know, like,
right.
I mean,
totally, he was shocked. But
yeah.
But
he shouldn't have said anything rude.
Right. And I don't remember the wording, but it was.
Did you mention that in the text or anything?
No.
Okay. You just were like,
there's no rule book,
like,
you know?
Send, baby.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know
see
what
he
doing.
Says. Yeah. What is the most interesting first date you went on?
When I was in New York, I was swiping on an app in New York, and I live in LA, and we like got really lit. Like it was so casual, like a Wednesday.
Like shots or like?
We got a pitcher, and we're just like doing rounds at like 1 p.m. on a Wednesday. And we were like lit, and this guy was freaking short, and so I was like, yes, keep pouring it up if I'm gonna sit here with him. And then we go to this weird, like, it was like a thing overlooking the water, and it was just like the energy there. People were like dancing, and it was lit on like a 1 p.m. on a Wednesday. And I just remember being like, you're not my match. Like, this is so aggressive for like the first time meeting you. And we're like absolutely hammered. And then he's like, trying to get me to come back to his apartment at 4. And I'm like, bro, no. I'm also never seeing you again. I'm unmatching you and deleting your number after this.
Was it fun at all? Or
It was fun because I was like lit, and like I was giving him like a shot because I was in New York, and I was like, fuck it, I'm over here, whatever. Yeah. But no. Oh, and he had Snapchat and was just like snapping me. And like,
he's snapping you.
I'm like, no. So,
love it.
Yeah,
Sounds like an adventure though.
Yeah, like you need these stories.
Like a little shoddy with the picture. Yeah. Like, in New York dancing.
Right?
I don't know. It's a vibe.
It was a vibe.
How
it's
short?
a whole vibe. If the guy was
How short
was this guy?
His app profile probably said like maybe 6 foot, but he
always subtract 2 inches.
No, he was like easily 5'9" or 5'10".
Okay, always subtract.
And it was midday. I was wearing sneakers, and we were eye level. No. I'm strong about it now because there's tall, hot men.
How tall is your boyfriend now?
6'5".
Love.
So now I could confidently be like,
I will say most of my exes are 6'5" and up.
How tall are you?
5'4".
That's why like the short girls can take the shorter guys.
But yeah, okay.
But I get it. I don't want to feel bigger than
I like to feel like a little thin.
Same. I don't want to feel big at all.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to wrap up the episode. What is the best piece of advice that you have for someone to help their self-confidence so that they can date better?
I think that you should take the power out of who you're trying to date to feel validated and try to put it within yourself. Like if I go out, or when I used to date with wigs and hair, my friends would be like, oh, well, he already knows. Like, just don't wear the wig. He already knows. He won't be weird. He already knows. I'm like, but it's not about how they feel and how they're reacting. It's about how I feel about myself. So even if it's not wearing a wig, like take the power out of how the men are going to validate you, or whoever you're dating is going to validate you, and like put it back in yourself, and like actually believe that you're the fucking shit, and go into the date or like put yourself out there like that, because no one else is going to see that in you unless you like truly see it in yourself.
That's right.
You know?
I
do your affirmations.
I think this is like hit, and I think everyone listening can take away like whatever you're dealing with, or the thing that you're like, oh, I'm so insecure about this. The second that you just own it and you're just like, this is me, and like it's okay.
Take the power back.
Maybe I got a big freckle on my cheek. You know, that's the coolest freckle on my cheek. I know it's huge, but I don't care. Like just
shift the perspective for yourself.
Like that makes me unique, and like that's so special, and like look at it's so cute. It's so cute.
Right?
Once you just like take that all inside and you're just like, wow, like no, I am beautiful, and that, you know, I think like I
really
said,
believe it and spend time with yourself.
It makes you magnetic. If you see Christie walk into a room, you'll be like, who is this girl? I need to know her.
Thank you.
And that's because she's just been like, let it rip. This is me.
Right?
Let's
go.
This
is me. Let it rip. I like that.
Okay, Christie, where can people find you?
Yeah, my Instagram is Christie, CHRISTIE .Valdiserri, VALDISERRI.
Love. And you guys can find us at Date Better Pod, at It's Heather Hopkins. You can download Hula, find all the better guys, and of course, you know, go into that being your most confident self after listening to this episode. Make sure that you guys subscribe, rate, review the podcast, and we're so excited to hang out with you again next week. Love ya, guys.
Love ya.
Bye.